negative. Gold is turning down about $7.20. Peter Schiff, your comment on that?
Well, gold can't be up every day. But look at the trend. It's over $1,000 an ounce. And it's going up because the government is debasing our money, and that's all Bush is promising to do, and Bernanke is promising to do, is create more dollars, drive the value of our money down, so prices can go up, and we can pretend.
But the banking system is deleveraging at a rapid rate. What the Fed is pumping in, the banking system and the shadow banking system of Wall Street is taking out, and that is still putting pressure on the number one price we haven't even mentioned in this whole period. Housing will still be under pressure. This takes a little bit of pressure off of mortgage resets on ARMs, but only a little bit. But that is still the main deflationary pressure. The biggest asset in the U.S. economy.
No, it's not, though.
Deflating.
But that's an asset. That's not a price. And in fact, the cost of home ownership is going up because mortgage interest rates are going up, maintenance costs, taxes are going up, insurance is going up. Being a homeowner is becoming more expensive, especially if you factor in the cost of depreciation.
The housing market is clearly weak and weakening, and I want to ask Neil, do you think federal taxpayer dollars come into this to prop up the housing market, which is the root of this whole problem?
Well, I will agree with Peter on this. I think it's a mistake to do that. I think there's an argument that, I've heard the too big to fail argument that you got to help and protect big entities so that you restore stability in the markets. I just think it's a slippery slope in postponing the reality here that eventually, I know we've done it in the past. We've just done it with Bear Stearns. We've done it at Continental Bank in '84. We did it with Chrysler in 1980. And this argument that we got to protect certain entities, but I think be careful what you wish for, because you set expectations that this is what you're going to do always.
Gerald, let's bring you back in. Having been behind the scenes at the Federal Reserve, what kind of push and pull is really going on there, as you've got the average American paying a heck of a lot more at the grocery store and also at the pump?
Yes. It is very collegial, but those two Fed presidents have been pretty aggressive. Particularly Fisher gave a speech in London that was very strong, and he said that, look, these interest rate cuts aren't going to solve the problem we have, but they're going to create a new one of inflation, and that if the inevitable outcome of this, he didn't say recession, but he used the euphemism, if the inevitable outcome is a recession, then that's just got to be what we have to have. So you've got a range of dissent. I'm sure it was done very collegially, but this may very well be a turning point, and they may stop at this point.
And Mr. Wanowski,
as someone said, there's a lot of people to please.
Yeah, there sure are. But Mr. Wanowski, by giving all of the pleasure to the bankers and to the people who made the decisions on their own that got them into this trouble in the first place, are we giving short shrift to the American public at some point?
I think the consumer would say, hey, this is great news for Citibank and all the big banks, but how does it help me? In the final analysis, if they go online tonight and look at their credit card statements or their mortgage interest statements, they haven't been reduced, and they may not be reduced.
And by the way, I do want to pound a point you mentioned about housing too. We lose sight of the fact that adjustable rates have come down appreciably, almost 3 points now. It's interesting. You look at a 30-year fixed mortgage today versus last year at this time. It's about the same. It's about the same.
Let me jump in here real quick. But what the Fed, Neil, has done just with opening the discount window to investment banks, that's eased some of the credit strain that you've seen in other parts of the credit market.
But flip it around, because what the Fed maybe. But and Peter addressed this point better than I can. But what the Fed has taken as part of this Faustian pact is some of that risky paper, the mortgage securities and all, for whom it really can't get a price yet, and sign that deal to have them make deals. Be careful of what you wish for.
Sure, but remember, you're all talking about the Fed has all these different interests it has to please. Why is the Fed trying to please anybody? That's the whole idea behind having an independent central bank, is they don't have to
ought to be like you and just take off everyone.
Right. They're supposed to do what's right, even if everybody hates them.
They're
not supposed to be
really
popular.
think Ben Bernanke and crew are sitting around talking about pleasing Joe and pleasing
Dagan, they want to please the markets. That is very true. And the markets,
nobody takes the punch bowl away anymore.
You're saying that you don't think that they're sitting around going, we are trying to shore up our financial system and prevent a depression in this country.
But they want
approval
from the
something
markets.
Worse.
Their approval is the markets. And if they don't get it, they find some other way to get it.
And you've got to understand that a guy like Ben Bernanke has a lot of friends at the top. Same with Henry Paulson. And they're hearing every day, dude, you got to cut the rates. You've got to shore this up or we're going to have a massive depression. I mean, look what happened.
Cool if they called up and said, dude.
Hyperinflation is worse than depression, and that's what we're going to have if we don't veer from
Let's
this
get to
course.
Shivani Joshi.